Hi, I'm Lindy Royer. I'd really like to welcome you to the first ever Park Meadows Pilates and Physical Therapy tips. And these tips on Pilates are going to be presented to you twice a month. You'll be able to access them from YouTube or from our blog, parkmeadowspilates.com blog. And the object of doing these exercises for you is to give you, in 3 minutes or less, simple Pilates mat exercises or Pilates mat principles that you can do at home without having to go out and buy expensive videos or equipment. The first one that I'd like to talk to you about today is something that I call the head hover. And learning how to do a head hover is an integral part of being able to do any of the Pilates mat exercises that involve flexion. Flexion is simply bending forward. These exercises might be something like doing the roll-up, doing the twist, doing the crisscross, doing the Pilates 100. So let's get started. So here we have the spine and pelvis at the bottom. And typically most of us learn to do what's known as a crunch, to do abdominal strengthening. And a crunch is also, part of a sit-up. Not a particularly friendly exercise for most people. And the common complaint that I hear a lot is, it doesn't really work my abs, my neck just gets sore. The reason for that is that the head is generally not in the correct position to be doing a crunch or a curl up or a roll up, and all of the neck muscles become strained. So what I'd like you to notice here is this is our, what we would call a natural spine position. It looks like that when we're standing up, so it's a kind of a double S curve. And when we go to do a crunch, what typically happens is the neck just pulls forward. And all of our movement happens here in this midsection in the thoracic spine and into the lower back. So what we're going to talk about today is essentially being able to maintain this double S curve position. And this is the back of the head here. Obviously, it's not a whole skull. And just being able to hover the head slightly off the mat using the deep abdominals down here in the pelvis to power the head off the mat. And again, this is a really important part of learning how to do a curl up or a sit up or a roll up or a crunch. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing Pilates or not. This is a basic principle that you need to learn how to do in order to have strong abdominals. So in order to do the head hover, you're going to start in that same position. It's a double S curve position, meaning that the pelvis is in its ideal neutral position, not tipped back and not tipped forward, but balanced in the center. You're going to inhale as you gently press the head back into the hands and the hands into the head, bringing the elbows slightly forward just so you can see them out of the corner of your eyes. And then as you exhale, you're going to barely hover the head off the mat so that you can almost feel the back of the knuckles resting on the mat. Once you get into that position, allow the weight of the head to rest down into the hands and the sling that's created by the lats on the backside of your body. So literally, I'm letting the weight of my head rest down into my hands, my shoulders, and ultimately my lats. In this position, the abdominals are actually performing the work. So compare that to this position where I just stick my chin forward and start to soften or curl around the mid part of my back. So you might be able to see in this position there's a lot more strain in my neck muscles. In this position, my neck is relatively at ease, resting back into the center of my body. Once you get to this position, see if you can then just take your hands away from the neck and hold that position, and you'll notice that it's the abdominals, the deep abdominals that are doing the work, and not all of the neck muscles. Then gently replace the hands behind the head, and allow yourself to rest back down onto the mat. So it looks like this. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, you're going to float the hands with the head off the mat, just allowing the weight of the head to rest down into the hands. And then take another breath in, and as you exhale, keeping the sense of weight into the head, into the back of the body, take the hands away, reach the hands long. And then inhale to replace the hands behind the head. You'll notice you're still barely hovering the head off the mat, and then lower the head back down. And that's in a nutshell. Practice that this week, and we'll talk about doing a roll-up or a curl-up next time.